You ever go into a game thinking it's going to be a chill, laid-back experience, only to be met with some of the most anxiety-inducing situations you've ever faced? A game with soothing music and colorful characters. A game where you work together with your community, engaging one-on-one in card battles to construct meaningful conversations. A game about meeting people from different cultures and experiences soon became a road to disaster and heartbreak. Signs of the Sojourner is that game. I started playing Signs of the Sojourner because I'm always keen to try any game that does something new with its dialogue systems. You play as a kid whose mom died, and she was a big deal all over the place. But since she's been gone, things have changed, and your small town is under disarray. Your job is to get your town back on the trade route to bring back business and tourism, and discover the history of your mother along the way. You have a best friend and a bunch of other people relying on you while still trying to discover yourself. To progress through the game, you need to travel around from town to town, engaging in dialogue-based card games. You match your symbols with your opponent to create positive interactions, like getting supplies for your town's corner store. Failing a match produces a negative interaction, such as committing a cultural faux pas or not being able to stomach a new type of food. Overall, these errors don't have a huge impact on the story, but if you're like me and you don't always pick up new games right away, these errors will add up and make you feel like absolute shit. I had no expectations that I was going to pass every single hand, especially when the game starts throwing other symbols at you that you don't have in your own deck. I initially found this to be super interesting. You know, the further you get away from your home, the more foreign the language is. And you're not going to be able to breach this on the first loop. Every month you have enough time to make a loop on the map, any which way you want, uncovering more efficient paths along the way. So you build your deck by going to the same places and talking to the same people to obtain the matching cards. But by the time I was getting the hang of things, it was already looking pretty rough for my little town. I wasn't getting enough items to sell in the store, and I wasn't winning over the hearts and minds of the caravan to keep the town on the map. I didn't even make it in time for my best friend's kazoo concert. The whole thing made me feel so bad, and the game does a good job of digging in the emotional knife when you really start failing. Very soon, I knew that I had lost faith of everyone around me, and in my despair, I started a new game. Armed to the teeth with knowledge of the systems and characters I was going to face, I was really going to start perfecting each interaction. And it felt really good going through a second time. You know, I was opening new paths that I didn't know existed, and the world really started to open up. But I was progressing farther before, and just like last time, I started meeting new people and new cards. And what was once the most chill, fun time ever became extremely stressful. I was failing more than ever before. Because you can't quickly adapt in this game. You can only add 2 cards to your deck at a time, but you're always removing one as well. So if you run into a new area with new symbols, chances are you're going to end up with a bad hand. Talking to a new NPC knowing you're going to fail the dialogue right off the bat doesn't feel good, especially for people like me who absolutely hate failing dialogue checks. In many ways, Signs of the Sojourner wants you to take a roguelike approach to their card system. You need to fail conversations to get the card you need to complete it next time around. But next time around, that NPC might not even be there. Or you don't even have enough time to make it there because there's a fishing tournament over in this town. And if they are there, you won't get the same conversation. I stopped playing the game soon after because it just wasn't satisfying to play anymore. I'm sure the payoffs later are huge, and I can see the card system getting more intricate as you progress, but the short-term consequences of learning the system was personally too much for me to want to persist. Signs of the Sojourner is an interesting experiment with a card-based dialogue system in which the player works together with the NPC opponent. It has an initial appeal to players who enjoy social systems and games, but those type of players also tend to be the perfectionists when it comes to relationship management. I still highly recommend it to those who are curious, but be prepared to start over. And if you've already played Signs of the Sojourner, I'd love to know what you think in the comments.